This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, you are the real star of today's show, because you are here to talk about sim racing with me each and every day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. And speaking of part of the show, there's the old saying, the show must go on. Today, the show almost didn't happen. I don't know if you remember yesterday, I was having some difficulties. Not 100% sure it's the same thing, but lo and behold, this morning I woke up at 5 a.m. to get some editing done, and I had lost a video card. The main computer that I use for all these streams was dead. And thank you to Jesse Conroy. He was kind enough to hop in my system and help me out. So we were able to pull out my video card, go to the onboard graphics card, and hey Max, thank you. And what do you know, we got both screens working and I'm able to put on the show. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. So no computer rant. I saw the pre-show chat. Not a rant. Stuff happens, you know. Computers are components, we put them through a lot. I just need to get myself a new video card. That's all there is to it. Not a big deal. Anyway, beyond that, what was the other thing that was on my mind? You guys also had said, or were talking about the likelihood of esport being a topic of the show. Fair. Good conversation, actually. Esport has kind of changed sim racing. Sim racing has just been a hobby that we've done, and with esport, it's become a profession. And there's going to be some good and some bad. Some of the bad, you know, could be what it... Yes, it's gardening day, Brad. Good ears. Khan is the guru of gurus. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. But there's going to be some good and some bad that goes along with the whole esport thing. I don't think it's something that we should spend too much time, but being that we are going into the professional ranks, it's going to get its time on the show. I do think it's going to push our industry in many ways. I think that you will probably see, just look at it this way, if the amount of sim racers increases as a result of esport, and it will, that's going to give more incentive to the product manufacturers to make better products. You think we have high-end equipment now? Just wait another 3-4 years after another few 100,000 or even 1 million new sim racers are born as a result of esport. So anyway, that's kind of my thought on esport and it getting its due time on the show. I don't think it's something... I don't want to turn this into a esport everyday show or the main thing. I would rather there be products to talk about, changes or upgrades or things to our games that I want to talk about, your rigs, my rigs, but I think it's all part of the whole pool, and that's exactly what the Pit Stop is really for. I mean, on the Pit Stop, more than the regular Simpit show, I embrace everything that is automotive gaming, versus with the sim show, I tend to be a little bit of sim-elitist. I hate to use that word, but I do embrace and I love all of sim racing. Too much of my life is wasted when USB sound card and other get borked after an update. Yes, always, that's been killing me lately. Whether it be streaming, editing, or racing. Tom, yeah, you're right, that's going to be part of it too. There are lots of new cool products, and I'm really behind on that. And speaking of behind on that, I'm a little behind on the show because we just kind of had a open conversation about sim racing. Relevant conversation, though. But what is going on in the world of sim racing today? There are a few things to talk about. It's not a super busy day, I'll tell you that. Tuesday, October 23rd. Sean, what happens to ground when sim racing over... Babs, that's a great point. Babs says, what happens to grassroots level racing, like karting, when sim racing takes over as the entry into motorsport? I think that's a very fair concern. Now, from my personal opinion, and I've spent a fortune on karting, I think that karting got a little out of control, where the budget to race on a get noticed level of karting is the same budget it would take to run an SCCA in like a Mazda division or something like that. So maybe there's some reasons that make karting, as an example, vulnerable or even lower levels. I think it's okay, though. Auto racing, unlike most other sports, is extremely expensive, even on the lowest level. So it has prevented us from finding the next Ayrton Senna, because maybe he never had access to a race car. Maxwell, he loves Ayrton Senna. He loves Ayrton Senna. But anyway, the point being, if it's on a esport level, Ayrton Senna has a chance. It doesn't cost a fortune to be a sim racer, especially where the esport levels are. Thank you, Wasted White Boy. Appreciate that. Edgar, you'd rather deal with the real-life counterparts. It's funny you say that, because I remember back in the day, if I ever got disconnected from a race, my attitude would be like that was the equivalent to losing a valve in the motor, or, you know, blowing a head gasket, or whenever I had a electronic or computer-related problem, I would always think of the real-life equivalency and be like, well, that's no different than just picking up a flat. So, anyway, there you go. All right, what else do we have to do? John, they have those too. Like, for example, I ran in it was like the Stars of Tomorrow type karting, and it was a sealed engine Vortec shifter kart, but it was at this like peak level, so it was still a $2,500 motor, you know, an $8,000 kart, $200 sets of tires. Yeah, exactly. Okay. We can do this all day long, by the way. That's one of the reasons that at the beginning of the show, I'm always saying you guys are the star of the show. I wish there was a way to have even better interaction with you guys than just through the text. Because that's sort of like my whole dream here. When I think of the pit stop, to me, it's not like Dave Despain. I mean, he didn't do a news type show, but it was the closest thing to getting to, like, the wind tunnel. Just a place for sim racing to hang out and talk about everything. I mean, you might not care about Forza, but we're not going to dwell on it very long. But in a few topics, we're going to probably get to your favorite sim. Hawaii phone bills. Oh, Brad. It's insane how it was in the beginning. It's just insane. And I think people who come into it now have no appreciation for what we've been through. I mean, and not to sound like the old man, like, oh, I walked 5 miles uphill both ways in the snow to school, and you kids now get driven by your mothers. But it's really amazing how easy it is to get into sim racing now compared to what we went through back in the day. And if you know what Hawaii is, you know what back in the day is. Oh, absolutely. Always. That's very, very true. Get a cheap phone and give out the number during the stream. That's an interesting idea, Tom. It only works for North Americans or people who want to pay a big phone bill. We could consider something like that. We could always use Discord. It's just if we get more than one person, we're certainly going to get Baba Booeyed if we do that, but we can have that happen here in the chat as well. All right, let's get to the news. You guys want to talk? Keep talking. I'll stay watching, but today we have a live stream from Playground Games, so we have the new Forza Horizon update that's coming. They're going to be doing a whole stream showing off some of the new features of the Forza Horizon update that is coming, and that's coming in a few days, if I'm not mistaken. That'll be at 1800 BST. That was posted 3 hours ago. I haven't done the conversion, excuse me. But this is also going to include being able to see that brand new route creator. We just sim raced uphill both ways in the snow. Yeah, Joey, Discord, we could do audio in, but, you know, it might become madness, too. We have to think about how to do that properly. I'd like to have certain people come in or only talk when they had a comment on a certain topic and not turn it into daily diversions and 2-hour-long shows. So, all right. Yesterday, I really missed something here. We talked about Gregor Hutu, and we're going to talk about Coanda SimSport and the iRacing Championships in a second here. But getting back to that GT Sport qualifier. And I talked about Gregor Hutu maybe not having the support that he used to have. And that's one way of stating it. The other way of stating it would be, well, with what's going on in esport, you have teams as dominant, maybe the best sim racing team on earth, Redline, having to take their talent and really put it all over the place. So, for example, yesterday we talked about Mikhail Hizal, and I said of Team TRL, but it didn't even dawn on me at the time. TRL being Team Redline. That's a Team Redline driver running in the GT Sport FIA Championship. Somebody who would be or could be theoretically helping out Gregor Hutu. Graham Carroll, Ollie Pakala, all the guys who've gone into the F1 2018 are over there, not necessarily being able to support Gregor. Think back just 2 years ago, none of that existed at all. You could have a lot more people behind your driver, and Coanda, I think, has left their team focused on iRacing. And with that said, we look here, yesterday's results are, here's the top 3 Coanda drivers. Martin Kroenke, 6 wins, 12 top 5s, 9 poles, 412 laps led. Mitchell de Jong, 3 wins, 12 top 5s, 3 poles, 185 laps led. Matt Beckham, look at this, only 44 laps led. However, that was good enough for 3 wins and 10 top 5s. These guys just really cleaned up this season. Their final results were 1, 2, 3 in the championship. Kroenke winning the championship. Mac Joa, 3rd in the championship. And Mitchell de Jong finishing 2nd overall in the championship. So Coanda going 1, 2, 3 in the iRacing championship. In addition to that, at iRacing tonight, the greatest show on virtual dirt. It concludes tonight. So, was that last night? I'm sorry. That was yesterday. Oh, I'm so sorry. Why didn't I mention that yesterday? Now, tonight is the battle for the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze NASCAR Championship. So, Matt Busa, Michael Conti, Ryan Lusa, and Ray Alfala are our 4 finalists for a shot at 10 grand. The big walk up on the stage at Homestead, the NASCAR Champions Ring, everything that goes with that championship there, which is very, very cool. Let's have a discard and party. And parlay. A sim racing roundtable. Yes, yes. Tig, yes, I can only imagine. Yes, we could bring a guest. Kimber, that's a very good idea right there. No more chat programs. No, I'm not adding any more to the list, Dave. Without an old article. Thank you, Wasted. Thank you. That's what I hope I'm not known for. What else do we have to talk about? Race rooms. So the battle in the Super Racer Championship is getting closer and closer. Tonight, that is tonight, 3 hours ago, as opposed to the drivers will compete in the second-to-last race at Slovakia Ring for a full motorsport season 2019 ahead, I suppose. So that stream's going on at 20 CST, 18 GMT, if you want to watch those guys. And we do have big names in this, by the way. Dornadin, Wisniewski. Who else do I see that I know the name of? Baldy. I know Gergo Baldy, Robin Fredrickson, Daniel Fredrickson, Honzik, Yaroslav Honzik, just to name a few, Christoph Joni. I'm sure I've missed a few of the big names there, but I was just scanning really quickly. So that is worth watching. You want to see some of the other virtual pros. Rick Motec posting another picture. So I actually own the Momo variation of this. Well, it's the full round, but you can see how this is a Thrustmaster hub, we'll call it. Rick Motec, actually one of the things they do, and you can make this work with a Thrustmaster wheel, or you can make it work with any direct drive wheel, but they've started working with Max Pappas Innovations, MPI Innovations, so now they're doing that TSPC style rim. Not my favorite shape, but I think they have a whole variety of those now going at Rick Motec. Esport Motorsport, or MotoGP.com, esport.motogp.com. Pushing more and more news. We saw all the finalists that were eligible, and the second and last semifinal of the season is fast approaching, with the 12 fastest players from challenges 5 through 8 head-to-head around Motorland Aragon. So this is coming up for their big esport finals, and something I don't do much of, by the way. It looks like Monday the 29th, free practice session. Here we go. And then on the 30th, a 1-hour show will be broadcast live worldwide across MotoGP esport channels on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So that's on the 30th at 1900 GMT if you want to watch some virtual motorcycle championships. We saw the mixer that's going to go on, so if you want to watch the video, you can tune in with the guys over at Forza. But Forza Horizon 4 October 23rd update, detailed, full patch release notes revealed. Isn't today the 23rd? So this is literally coming out today. Big changes, though. This is, again, you're going to get the root creator. There's a list here. This is at the Dark Side of Gaming, DSOG, Dark Side of Gaming. And you can get the full list. So if you want to know the cross-platform, meaning, you know, regardless of where you play, the fixes and changes, the specific to the PC fixes as well. And if you want to tune in, you can watch that. If you're at work and you're waiting on that patch, you can watch that stream over through the Forza page. We're just a little short on news, just so it was sent in by a few different people. So anyway, new Top Gear presenters. Does this move you guys? I haven't watched Top Gear in quite some time. I think I mentioned that recently when we were talking about the Top Gear game. Paddy McGuinness. Is Paddy McGuinness the motorcycle guy? Is he the guy I just watched in the Red Bull Hair Scramble yesterday? Freddie Flintoff. Don't know who that is. Join Chris Harris for new series 2019. So that is the new crew. Sorry, I got a mustache hair causing a little bit of an itch. Anyway, does that motivate you? Have you been a big fan? What do you think of this change? Is it a big deal? Does it matter? Obviously, it won't affect the game because that's the other crew. And does anybody know, is Paddy McGuinness the motorcycle guy? I don't know if this really matters. He's a comedian. Paddy McGuinness is a comedian. But anyway, yeah, because they suck now. Clarkson, Hammond, and Captain Slow. Yes. Okay, he's a comedian. Okay, it was a different Paddy that I was watching on the Red Bull Hair Scramble yesterday. Flintoff is an ex-cricket player. Interesting. Well, that's an interesting crew. Upload VR is talking about, but I got this on my news feed yesterday. This is kind of all over, and I don't know if it really affects us so much when you think of the reasoning behind it, but former Oculus CEO Brendan Uribe departs Facebook. So, you know, a $2 billion buyout, and Palmer Luckey already left the company, and now second in command Brendan Uribe left the company. John McGuinness is one of the guys, and there was Paddy something else, or somebody Paddy, one of the two that was in the race. I was just watching this last night. But comedian is stretching it. Oh, that's harsh. So anyway, in this article, they say one of the reasons... Oh, Max, it's just VR. It's just VR, buddy. One of the reasons that he's leaving the company was something to do with the Rift 2 being canceled. So, yeah, that's a funny thing, Tom. You say that because I saw a comment by Palmer Luckey in regards to people leaving Facebook, and he's like, well, I guess us selling it to Facebook was good for VR, but bad for me. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, that $2 billion buyout was bad for you. Boo friggin' who, Palmer Luckey. Anyway. Yeah, well, and who knows? You never know behind the scenes, John, how it plays out. You know, you never know. All right, what else? Article here at Windows Central. Just if you guys are bored looking for something to do in your Xbox One, they're just giving you their best racing games of 2018. This is specific to the Xbox One. Look up Max and Patty's Road to Nowhere. Max hates VR because then I can't see him. Anyway, Forza Horizon 4, Forza Motorsport 7, Dirt 4, F1 2018, Project Cars 2, The Crew 2, Burnout Paradise Remastered, On Rush, and Forza Horizon 3. That's kind of getting a little... We could have left that one off the list, and it would have been a better list. And nothing against Forza Horizon 3. I guess they're just saying, hey, that's still a quality game, but... Anyway, we're at Horizon 4 now. So, there you go. There's a list from them. Blow through this. I don't want to dwell on esports stuff where it's unnecessary. I just kind of try to give you an idea how mainstream it's starting to become. PCGamesN.com with a write-up. Esports is a potential breeding ground for the next Formula One champion. They go on to talk about that interview that was the panel with the guys from McLaren at the Formula One weekend at Circuit of Americas. We saw Rudy Van Buren as part of that panel. So just another place talking about it. All right, this is kind of just for some of you guys. I know so many truck fans, and I'm behind on getting to the truck scene. But Race Department has a write-up here on Take a Tour of St. Petersburg in the latest ETS 2 preview trailer. So if you want to find out what it's like to drive around St. Petersburg, Russia, not St. Petersburg, is it Florida? Isn't there two St. Petersburg? St. Pete? Anyway, that looks like Russian writing to me. But you can check that out at racedepartment.com. What else? I'm ahead of the game on this one. Guys at Lionheart will be on GSRC tomorrow night. That's October 24th at 9:35 CT Central Time for the Skidmark Motorsports 200. And that should be an exciting race. These guys, the Magic Mile, these guys, again, I say it every time, but Lionheart is one of those series that before I even started working with these guys, I had admired their league and considered jumping into it a dozen times because they ran the tightest ship in iRacing when it came to IndyCar racing. They also have their vintage Lotus series. But tomorrow night you'll be able to tune in for that if you're just looking for some motorsport action. Yesterday, I already talked about, I think isn't this the one who got the giant oversized trophy? Anyway, Project Cars 2 has a little write-up the day after, including showing video of the A1 Esports. This is that Austrian Esport League Season 2. So they have that video there this is at the actual Project Cars Sport, esport.com, available through the generic Project Cars page, if I'm not mistaken. PMAX, yes, Pimax. I'm really optimistic for the Pimax. Skidmark Motorsports, yeah, it's an interesting name. This is kind of cool. Sim Racing Hardware, or simracehardware.-news.test blog. I have to use Google Translate to even read it, but Pole Position 42 is the name of the company. And it is a sequential shifter and handbrake combo. So why buy two apparatuses when you can have them literally sitting side by side? I'm assuming even on just one USB. There's really no need for two USBs for two measuring devices. Anyway, good looking. Who's that? Oh, nothing regarding the show. We're okay. But cool looking design. And that comes to you from Pole Position 42. And you can find that article and more details at simrace-hardware.-news-test blog. Whew, lots to get out of my mouth there. What else? Speed Maniacs. I find this also via Google Translate and sent in to me by The Man. The Man, who resigned from his official position, still sends me daily news and is still the backbone of a lot of the topics we get to talk about. Thank you very much to him and to everybody. It's actually a pretty good crew that's sending in daily news on our Discord channel, so it's really helping out the show. Anyway, Speed Maniacs, talking about the Dakar 18 developer provides new features and fixes many bugs with V.08. Now, I think I mentioned when V08 happened, I didn't get into great detail, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I do look at this list, including, like, improved Fanatic wheel support. You know, that's things critical to us. Manual H pattern plus clutch. I'm I need a scout. I need one of the pit crew. I need one of you guys. Somebody's got to tell me, dude, it's time. It's worth it. I have no real contact with these guys, so the day I play this will be the day that I drop the money and pay the developers. But I'm not going to do it until it's time. There will be no wine until it's time. Tech Power Up. I mentioned this yesterday on a different article, but another write-up, this time at Tech Power Up, talking about that anti-screen door effect. They're calling it anti-SDE in conjunction with the OLED displays. It's going to be the next gen of the HMD Odyssey, and we're talking the same resolution, but like double the pixels, and this should be a pretty big deal. Edgar, Dakar's a lie. Every patch hasn't fixed anything for you. See, and I haven't heard anything other than that still, unfortunately. Have you ever come across DGFX in iRacing? I'm not sure what you mean, Grant. H-Pattern. That was H-Pattern support for Dakar. Sean, there's a great chance of that. Who knows what they're going to put on reduction on Black Friday. What else we got? Samsung Odyssey on sale for $350 in light of Odyssey Plus launch. So, like we say about everything, when the new things get announced or come out, we start to see price drops on what was there before. And I think my last story of the day, actually, was just a sale that is going on Steam. I think Billy Strange, I think maybe Sean Seabrand, I think a few of the people I know actually use Setup Master. So if you're looking for Virtual Race Car Engineer 2018, it is actually on sale, 27% discount. It's on sale right now for Steam. And this works with the Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, F1 2017, iRacing, Project Cars, Race Room, R-Factor 2, Stock Car Extreme, and more. $25.48 for Virtual Race Car Engineer. I've heard pretty decent things in general about it. I have not used it myself, but if that's something you've been considering, it is on sale, just so you can know about it. So that is going to do it for today's show. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you all for being part of the pit crew. And thank you one more time to Jesse Conroy, because if it weren't for Jesse, today's show would not have happened. I would be running out to buy a video card just to get back online. He bought me a little bit of time, and now I can at least order a card and get a better deal and wait for it to arrive. It looks like everything's going to work. We'll see how the editing goes. That's going to be my next big challenge of the day. So that's going to do it for today's show. That's all I've got for today as far as live shows go. Going to get back to the editing booth and work on other things. Hopefully get you guys another video very, very soon. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to tell a friend. Let people know what we're doing so we can continue to grow and have more fun each day with these pit stops and have better conversation. That's going to do it. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.